Hi everybody. I was recently asked by a Republic of Old Souls member in Australia if there was anything that could be done to solve the problem that was causing sleepless nights and potential bankruptcy. This individual member has received a tax bill of over 4.4 million Australian dollars. And has no ability to fund it. There are all sorts of reasons why that is, but there are there's a genuine case here of the fact that although the member would have ordinarily paid taxes, but his ability to pay the taxes have been frustrated by external matters that are beyond his control. Now, the situation is pretty serious because what the Australian tax authorities do is that if you don't pay the taxes that they say are due, what they do is they put out a negative credit rating on the citizens' credit rating score, and that will then lead to bank accounts being closed. So not only can you not pay the tax, but then you don't have the ability to run a bank account. So it's nearly impossible to even go and create revenues that could pay the tax bill because you have great difficulty in running a bank account because your credit rating has been destroyed by a notice that goes out from the Australian tax authorities, and all the banks pick that notice up and then close your account. So you're in a pincer movement of not being able to pay the tax if you're in this situation, and then not being able to go and generate revenues that could pay the tax. So I'll let you judge how fair that is, but that to me is a very difficult situation to be in. So I, some years ago, was studying the definition of income. Is there actually a definition of income in any tax manual anywhere in the world? And it was intriguing to me that there was no actual definition of what income means. Now, if there is no definition of income, how can there be a tax based on income? Because if there's no definition, there can be no taxes. So I referred back to my research that I'd done some years ago into this subject. I'd stored it away, but never really done anything with it. So anyway, I've come up with the Australian tax protocol on the basis of the art of legal warfare. The taxpayer, the citizen in the United States, would take up a case against the Australian Tax Office or Tax Authority and challenge the definition of income. If there is no definition of income, how can there be a tax on income? So all of the references are in here, all of the various references from the tax manual, the Australian tax manual are in here, and there's actually nothing in here that actually clearly defines what income is. It's a circular loop. It says income is a gain, and you go and look at the definition of gain, and it says a gain is an income. It goes round and round and round in circles, and there's no actual definition of what income really is. And it's further explained on this video here, which was quite interesting. I found this video, and this guy here, which I will put a link to this video because it's fascinating. This guy here is an ex-partner of one of the biggest accountancy firms in Australia, and he's going into the very same question, a taxing question: what is income? And he breaks it all down on this video, which I will share in the channel. So let's go back to the protocol. So if a challenge was mounted against the definition of income, which is a legitimate challenge, the art of legal warfare, you challenge the procedure of the opponent. Now the procedure would be challenged on definition. Whilst that is going on, the Australian member sets up the grantor trust and gets involved in the recoupment of signature energy. So any bank payments from the age of 18, any mortgages, any loans, any credit cards, all of that signature energy is then recouped. into the Asset Fortress Protocol, which ultimately is the private treasury. And even if the case against the Australian tax authority was lost, the tax could then be discharged from the recoupment of that signature energy. And if the case is won, then obviously the member would be able to spend the recoupment of signature energy and just use it for other purposes. And every time that signature energy is spent from the Asset Fortress Protocol, it can be recouped. So it's a cycle of spend and recoup from the Asset Fortress Protocol. Now, the other problem this member has got is that he can't get bank accounts very easily in Australia because of the destruction of his credit score, or the citizen credit score. Now, that's solved because the Asset Fortress Protocol can get its own bank account. So even before even before the signature credit is recouped, then that bank account for the Asset Fortress Protocol could be used as an international trust bank account. So it's quite an interesting protocol. If there's enough interest in it, I will do a webinar for our Australian members. It's all discussed and outlined in this document, and if there's enough interest, then I can also do the same in other countries, because there is no definition of income in any country that I can find. So we could have a tax protocol, a similar tax protocol for any country where there is an outstanding tax bill, which obviously can't exist if there is no definition of the very thing that the tax is based on, income. If there's no definition of income, there can be no taxes.